Hello to the most wonderful PLC in the world, PD Bread and Michelle. PD Bread and Michelle and I, that's how I usually hear it, as discussed by Paul Alexson. All right, so you guys have your group set up now in Google Docs, and here's my document that I want to push out. So I'm going to share this, and you should be able to. I had a little trouble the first time because it didn't come up and I didn't know what it was going to say. You may have to go back into your Google group and find out what this specific address is, and I'll try to go back and look there and see if I can find where to find that. But it's at googlegroups.com. So once you've put it in here one time, then it'll always come up for you. So I'm going to actually send this out to my 5th hour, and I did have a little trouble with actually I'm going to send it out to my 8th hour. So my 8th hour comes up here, and then I just click on this. The one key thing that is really important is you have to change this from Can Edit to Can View. And that's really important, because when you're sending it out to the kids, if you have it on Can Edit, then that becomes a problem. And for example, you might make mistakes like I did. So I had sent this one out, and I forgot 8th hour to hit Can View, and so a student was working on his and didn't really realize that he was messing up everybody's. He thought he was cute and was put his face in Noah. Well, what happened was I didn't realize until 9th hour when I sent it out again that I hadn't changed it to Can View, and so all of my 9th hour kids, of course, are scrolling down. The title was gone, and all of a sudden they see Noah. So you want to make sure that you're always doing that. And I would even just tell the kids are pretty good about saying, oh, Mrs. Gajewski, make sure, you had it on, because I messed up one other time. Oh, make sure, Mrs. Gajewski, it says that I can edit this. And so anyway, okay, so you send this out to them. And it's good to do that right at the start of class, and I'll tell you why. Because then, and you can always check this here, oh, yep, they can only view it. So what can happen then at the start of class is you ask the kids to share it back to you, and that way then you can organize it if you have 3 classes. So then I can just click, these kids they just shared it with me 2nd hour, and so I can just go down here and click, and then I'm going to move this into my couple more. I'm going to move this into my 2nd hour folder that I've set up. And if you're not sure how to set up a folder, it's right up, I think it's right under here. We'll look at that in a minute. So I'm going to click up here. I'm going to put those guys in my 2nd hour. And if you'll watch right over here, what happens then is it shows up at 2nd hour. What I don't know, and I have to ask Meg Peterson, is if I can just now, I think I can delete these out of my shared with me because they're in my 2nd hour folder, but I'm not 100% sure that you can delete them out of here. I think you can, because you already have them in your 2nd hour folder. So here is where you would create a folder. So, and you can make your folders different colors. So if you want to create a folder for each class. The one thing that I forget to do then, so then like the next hour, or I'm going to put in someone from a different hour, I forget to unclick these. So then I had a few problems that way. But right here, there's a little, I don't know, it takes it off. So you can just really, instead of having to unclick them, you can just go up there and click that, and then it'll take them, it'll take them off. And again, it may be that we should be putting these in the trash because we've already moved them into the 2nd hour. So like right now they're in 2 different places. What is nice then though, so as the kids were working, oops, let's go here to my 2nd hour. So as the kids were working, I did a couple different things. One day I just sat, and Jeff did this too, and I would click on a thing and give them, feedback. So I'd go up to comments. Now the kids, sometimes it shows that they won't allow comments. You actually have to click on it, and then you can write a comment to them. Another day I pulled them up in like 3 different little reading groups, and we sat and, I listened to questions that they had. They shared, they were, asking me questions about what they did the day before. And then the other thing, and then one day I did it where I pulled them up 2 or 3 at a time, and I actually gave them a little quiz on, what they had done. One of the problems was some of the kids weren't quite as far. This has allowed the kids, the surprising thing about this to me is that it's allowed some of the higher kids to accelerate more. So that's been actually kind of interesting. I also am pulling this up on the smartboard, so at the end of class, just to provide some accountability, I'll pull it up and, I'll say, oh, let's see here, da, da, da. And, I might pull up, I think I don't know if Lily's was, I don't know where she's at, but I pulled it up and we've looked at, what was the response. And so we've discussed that in class. It has given the kids a little bit of, at least for, your honors kids maybe don't need it as much as my students, but it's given them a little bit of accountability in terms of making sure that they get going on things. I'm just looking for, again, it just kind of, I pull up just a couple so the kids know that theirs might be pulled up and looked at, and and shown to the rest of the class. Anyway, as you see with Noah, I had a few troubles. There's been a few things that I did wrong, but it's worked out. It's worked out okay. All right, hope it works for you guys.